Hey, what happened to you, man?
Oh man, I'm so tired. I need rest. I don't have any energy.
Energy. What do you know about energy, man? Maybe I should teach you this time.
Hi and Assalamualaikum class. My name is Ape. So our topic for today is energy. I want all of you to stay focused.
Stop it, man. You're making me lose more energy.
Alright man, the stage is yours.
Thank you, man. And now, let's get back to today's agenda.
Alright, much better. So, what is energy? Energy is what human body need to do every activity. Name it, it need energy. So basically, how do we get energy? We get energy from this special currency. What we call it is ATP. What is ATP? ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So how do we produce or how do we get ATP? We have three main sources where which body can use it to make ATP. The first one is carbohydrate, fat, and protein.
Alright, now let's start with carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, human body digests carbohydrate into and broke it down into glucose, and glucose can be converted into ATP. However, there is when rest, human body converted carbohydrate into glycogen, and 60% of them will be stored into skeletal muscle, while 40% will be stored into the liver. The energy stored inside human body from carbohydrate is limited to 2000 kilocalorie. Now let's go with fat. Fat, however, it reserves more energy than carbohydrate. 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 kilocalorie, while 1 gram of protein or carbohydrate is equal to 4 kilocalorie. Then, fat is less accessible to carbohydrate because it needs to be broken down from its complex compound, which is triglycerol, into fatty acid, free fatty acid, and glycerol. Only free fatty acid can be converted into ATP. But the energy stored from the fat in human body is almost unlimited. So you can get fat basically. After that, last but not least is the protein. The protein, human body digests protein into amino acid. So this amino acid can be converted into glucose, and again glucose can be converted into ATP. So, however, this conversion only happen when human body don't have or have a low level of carbohydrate and fat. Now let's go to how ATP makes energy. Okay, now ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, it will react with an enzyme called ATPase, which will split away the last phosphate group inside the adenosine triphosphate. This reaction will cause the ATP turn into ADP, adenosine diphosphate, one phosphate group, and then the release of rapid energy. So how did human body produce ATP? Let's take a look at three systems, which is the ATP-PCR system, glycolytic system, and oxidative system. Yeah. Okay, so the ATP-PCR system. ATP-PCR system. PCR means phosphate creatine. So it is an anaerobic system, and then it produces ATP immediately. What happened is when an enzyme called creatine kinase acted with PCR, it will cause the phosphate group separate from the creatine, and this reaction cause release energy. After that, the phosphate group will combine into ADP and then create ATP. After that is the glycolytic system, which is again an anaerobic system. It uses the glycogen that is stored inside the human muscle. However, glycolysis, it produces pyruvic acid, and without the presence of O2, pyruvic acid will be converted into lactic acid, and lactic acid will cause muscle fatigue. And the last one is the oxidative system. Oxidative system is the only system that use oxygen. It yield more energy, and it consists of three processes, which are the glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport channel. Let's start with the glycolysis. As we all know, glycolysis release pyruvic acid. When O2 is present, the pyruvic acid will be converted into acetyl-CoA, which is an enzyme, and it produces hydrogen and also 3 mole of ATP. So the acetyl-CoA will enter the Krebs cycle. Okay, so after the process of Krebs cycle, it will produce 2 mole of ATP, carbon, and also hydrogen. Now let's bring both hydrogen from the Krebs cycle and the glycolysis into the electron transport channel. After that, what happened after the end of electron transport channel? It will produce H ion hydrogen, which will combine with O2 to create water, H2O, and then it will produce 34 ATP. So after all of this process, how much ATP do we have? We will have around 38 or 39 ATP. Alright, that is the oxidation of the carbohydrate. And now for the oxidation of fat. It is a little bit different from the carbohydrate because it starts with beta oxidation, and after that, free fatty acid contain more carbon, so it will produce more ATP. Now for the protein, some of the amino acid can be converted into glucose, and then will carry the same process mentioned. However, the body only use 5% to 10% of the energy produced by protein. Sorry for sleeping all of you. I'll make another transition like. Okay, so that is all from me. I hope my video helped you understand about energy system. So right now, allow me to take my energy from food. So that is all now. Thank you and Assalamualaikum. See you guys again in the next video. Bye bye.